All right, just a quick tutorial on landing that I said I'd send you. Again, this is the way I do it. Obviously, it may not be correct. You may see other people do it differently, but this is the easiest way for me to land the Harrier. First things first, always do your kneeboard. All right. Even if you don't think you're going to use the laser code on the kneeboard, I would go ahead and program it. So this right here, your laser code, I think I mentioned to you, you could change any time for all laser guided munitions other than the laser rockets. Laser rockets have to be done here before engines start. So let me just adjust this. All right, what is it? Alt Shift. Okay. Once that's done, you could do your startup. Let me do that. Oops. Let me do that real quick. There you go.
Generator. Caution. Generator. Caution. Caution.
Let me knock some of the weight off the jet.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
Not sure if you heard me and is that okay? Sorry about that. I'm not sure if you heard me and Augur talking about weight. This is where you would find the weight of your jet. As long as you're in nav or stall mode, up at the top, just hit the middle button until you see VREST. I go to VTO, and right here, GWT is your weight. I try to land 20,000 and below, whether it's normal landing or VTOL, VSTOL, or vertical landing. I just wait on INS. HUD 10 0. All right, just make sure your HUD's got 10 degrees nozzle. For takeoff, you could just leave flaps on auto. If you're coming into land and you are too heavy, you can always dump fuel. Here's your two dump switches for left and right side. It will automatically shut off when you get to around, it's either 3,600 pounds of fuel or 2,600 pounds. It may be 2,600 pounds.
Refueling complete.
Looks like INS is done almost.
Rearming complete.
And INS is done.
Caution.
Kill the caution. Wheel chocks.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks. Copy. Wheel chocks Shocks are now removed.
All right, let's go. Brakes off.
Caution. Caution.
Kill the caution. So if you look at the weight right there, 19.3, that's perfect landing. You may see me resetting my track IR every few because there's a lot of lights in here. So if you see it jump like that, it's just me resetting the track IR center switch. All right, take off. 10 degrees on the nozzles. Full power. Brakes are on. Brakes off. Right there, you can see too much on the power, so just roll it back a little bit. Right there. Back on the stick just a tad. Wheels up. Nozzles all the way back.
Altitude. Altitude.
Now always just take a quick look outside just to make sure everything's up. Alright, so right now we are at 19,000 pounds, 2,700 pounds of fuel. I'll do a quick fly over the airfield and I'll show you the how I break out from the airfield and slow the jet down. Alright, coming in for the brake. Alright, so nozzles are 0. Coming out of full power, just into regular power. It's probably about 80% for me. Come to about 1,000 foot. Can go a little lower, 800 if you want to do like the Hornet. All right, and brake, off power. Start rolling out. All right, I'm going to pick the power up when I get close to 250, right about here. All right, 250, gear down, flaps down. I put flaps all the way down. You'll notice this number here changed from 25 to like 60 something when you get slow enough. Okay, adding a little power. I'm changing my nozzles to 35 degrees. Off on the power. I want to get the velocity vector down. I'm trimming a little just to keep the nose up. All right, I'm going to start a turn in here. Velocity vector is going down, so just pick it up a little with throttle. When I do this, I usually come in pretty slow. I try not to rush it. Once you're more comfortable, you can do it faster. Alright. Like if you look here, I'm keeping my velocity vector below the horizon line. Alright, right here, I'm going to start bringing it to about 50. Okay. Off the throttle a little. Back on. A little more on the throttle to get the velocity up.
Bingo, bingo.
All right, bring the nose up just a bit. Velocity vector down just a bit. Now this is what you're going to be using most of, is your throttle. Kind of like on the Hornet when you're doing a carrier landing, how you have to go up and down on the throttle. I feel like it's kind of the same for me here, but not as bad. All right, and then a little closer. Right about here, I'll bring the nozzles to 65 degrees. There you go. It's starting to drop a little. So like right here, I'm coming in pretty level. Nose up. Okay, throttle up. Throttle up some more. Throttle up a little more. Okay, once you start getting to the ground, I'm going to lift the nose up to the horizon line. There you go, and then just drop the throttle just a little. Nose up, and add a little throttle right here, just so I don't slam into the ground. Just control it, and then you can drop the throttle just a little bit. There you go. Nice easy stop. I think we might have been below 100 knots there. Okay, throttle's back to 10. flaps out of auto, or flaps out of full to auto. That black mark from the skidding. All right, and that is it. Let's see. I could probably show you a vertical here, just so you got it for the future. Let me add a little bit of fuel back in. Let's bring it to 35.
Request refueling. Request rearming. Copy.
Let's see if I go for that pad over there. Excuse me.
Refueling complete.
Okay.
Rearming complete.
Okay, let's go. Break off.
Caution, caution.
So we're at 18 or 19,000 pounds, which is like perfect. All right, so let's take off. Okay, full power. Brakes off. Back on the stick just a tad. And off power just a tad. There we go. Gear up.
Altitude, altitude.
Nozzles back to 0.
Altitude.
Alright, let's pretend this is the brake. Alright, I'm going to try to land on the pad right near where we landed, just off to the right of it. Alright, so when you do a vertical, you're going to need to do a lot of trim just to try to keep the nose straight. I like a little downward trim, so I always have pressure back on my stick. That's just my preference. Alright. Alright, so right here, we're gonna go off power. I'm gonna start dumping throttle to 35. Alright, we're gonna get the jet to 250. And then do gears and flaps. So gear down, flaps all the way to full. All right, we're shooting for right there. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit of power. Get the nose and the velocity vector up a little so you're flying straight. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of nose up. Go. So that was nose up trim, a little more nose up trim. Now if you look right here, your flaps are starting to drop even lower, which are good, which is good. Okay, the pad we're landing at, I think, is like right about here. I'll try to walk you through what I'm doing. Okay, right about here, since I'm on approach, I'm going to go 50 on the nozzles. Okay. Velocity vector is going down, so add a little power to bring it back up. Okay. So here I'm playing with the velocity vector or the throttle up and down just to keep me straight. Okay, right about here, I'm going to do 65. Slow me down a little more. Okay, notice the velocity vector drop, adding power. Okay, nose is good. It's still on the horizon line. All right, right about here, I'm going to start doing 82. There it goes. Velocity vector's dropping, so add power. Now I'm going to bring the nose down. This is why I like a little bit of nose down, so I keep some forward flight. If you don't, you'll notice here you start pitching up, which is going to slow you down more. So I like a little nose down. Velocity vector up.
Bingo, bingo.
Drop that to 1,000. Good. Up, see, nose down. I'm adding a lot of power because I screwed up there. All right, so nose is starting to point back up. I don't want it to, so a little bit more nose down trim. Okay, velocity vector there. All right, right about here, let's see, I'm doing about 30 knots. I'll let the nose come up a little, but I'll still trim it so it's nose down, and I want to pull back on the stick to slow down. So there we go. So right here, I just don't want to go into the ground, so I'll get the velocity vector up. And then down. Okay, I'm going to pull the nose up just a little. Little bit of power as I'm going down. Okay, I'm pulling back on the stick to arrest my forward momentum. Little power. See how it's on the horizon line, so it's going to keep me steady. Now I'm only having to worry about forward and back with the stick. There we go. So down on the nose, down on the power. Up on the power a little. Down on the power. Gotta get nose down. Probably right here, or earlier I should have hit water. There's water. You notice how the velocity vector went way up as soon as you hit water. Gives you a lot more power. Alright, so I'm going to try to hold here. Okay, and then slowly let the velocity vector drop. As slow as you can. Just keep your nose steady. I'm going to lift up on the velocity, the power just a little. Okay, drop. Once I feel like I'm steady. Up on the velocity just a little bit so I don't hit so hard. Wasn't perfect, but that's how I do it. Hope that helped you, RJ. Parking brake. Flaps to auto. Nozzles to 10. All right, boss. Hope that helps.